If the gym feels like a place that wasn't built for you, I get it. I felt exactly the same way. The mirrors, the machines that look like medieval torture devices, the people who clearly know what they're doing, moving through it all like they were born there. It's a lot. And when something feels like that much, the easiest thing in the world is to decide you'll start later, when you're a little less out of shape, a little less tired, a little more ready. But here's the quiet truth nobody tells you. Later doesn't arrive on its own. There's no morning where you wake up suddenly ready. So let's not wait for it. Today, I'm going to show you how to start working out when you are completely, honestly out of shape. No gym required, no experience required, and absolutely no judgment. Just one calm, doable path from where you are right now. First, the most important thing I'll say in this whole video: you are not behind. There is no schedule you are supposed to be on. There's no age, no weight, no starting point that's too late. Every single person who's in great shape was, at some point, exactly where you are right now. A little nervous, a little unsure, quietly wondering if they'd look silly. You're not the exception to that. You're just at the beginning. And the beginning is a completely fine place to be. In fact, it's the only place anyone has ever started. So, if it's such a fine place to be, why does starting feel so impossibly hard? Because I promise you, it's not what you think. Most people assume they don't start because they're lazy. I don't believe that. If you were lazy, you wouldn't be here, looking for a way in. I think the real problem is overwhelm. Open your phone and search how to get in shape, and you'll get 10,000 answers, all contradicting each other. Do this diet. No, that one. Lift heavy. No, do cardio. Fast in the morning. Never skip breakfast. Take these supplements. You need a program, a plan, special shoes, a gym membership, a coach. By the time you're done reading, you're exhausted, and you haven't moved a single muscle. That confusion builds up into a kind of wall, and standing in front of a wall that big, doing nothing quietly starts to feel like the safe choice. Not because you don't care, but because you can't see the first brick to pull out. So that's the very first thing we're going to do together. Make the wall disappear. Here's the rule this entire channel is built on. You do not need to do everything. You need to do one thing. Not a program, not a perfect plan, not a total life overhaul starting Monday. One small, almost too easy thing that you can actually do today. Because the goal of your first week isn't to get fit. Let's take that pressure right off the table. The goal of your first week is simply to prove to yourself that you're someone who shows up. Everything else you ever want is built on top of that one quiet fact. So let's pick your one thing. And I want you to make it embarrassingly small. I'm serious. If your plan is work out for an hour, you'll dread it, and you'll skip it, and then you'll feel bad. And feeling bad is not what gets anyone moving. But if your plan is do 2 minutes, you can't really talk yourself out of 2 minutes. 10 squats while the coffee brews. A single, short walk around the block. 5 push-ups against the kitchen counter. Stretching for the length of one song. It sounds too small to matter, doesn't it? That's exactly why it works. It's small enough that you'll actually do it, and doing it is the entire point. I need you to hear this clearly, because it's the thing most people get backwards. Small isn't the sad compromise you make because you can't do more. Small is the strategy. Every time you do the tiny thing, you're not really doing 10 squats. You're casting a vote. You're telling yourself quietly, I'm the kind of person who does this now. Do that enough times and it stops being something you force and starts being something you are. That shift, that's the whole game. and it's built entirely out of things that felt too easy to count. Now, if you want the single, simplest place to start, here it is. Walking. Walking is the most underrated first workout there is, and almost nobody talks about it because nobody's selling it to you. It's free. It's gentle on a body that isn't used to moving yet. Nobody's watching, and it does far more than people give it credit for. It builds the habit, it clears your head, it lifts your mood, and it gets your body comfortable being active again. Start with 10 minutes. That's it. 10 minutes most days of the week. If that feels good, you nudge it to 15 next week. And I want to be clear about something. That counts. That is working out. You don't need a gym to have started. And it's not just walking. This is the part that surprises people. Movement counts even when it doesn't look like exercise. Taking the stairs, carrying the groceries the long way, dancing badly in your kitchen, playing with your kids on the floor, 10 minutes of stretching before bed. Your body doesn't know the difference between a workout and moving on purpose. It just knows you moved. So the bar is lower than you were told. You've probably already cleared it today without noticing. Okay. The second step, and this is the one that actually keeps people going long after the motivation fades. Show up. Don't perform. Early on, the temptation is to measure everything. How far, how fast, how much, how sweaty. Ignore all of it for now. In the beginning, consistency beats intensity every single time, and it isn't close. A gentle 10-minute walk you do 5 days a week will change your life far more than a brutal, punishing workout you do once and then never repeat, because it left you so sore you associated exercise with misery. So your only job right now is to keep showing up, small and often, boring and repeatable. That's the whole secret, and I'm a little sorry it isn't more exciting. But it's true, and true is what actually works. Now let me get ahead of two things that stop beginners cold. The first is soreness. A day or two after you start moving, you might feel achy, stiff legs, a tender back, that "why do stairs hurt now" feeling. That is completely normal. It's called delayed soreness, and it is not damage. It's just your muscles meeting a new demand. It fades in a couple of days, and it happens less and less as you keep going. So if it shows up, don't panic and don't quit. A gentle walk actually helps it. Soreness isn't a warning to stop. It's just proof you did something new. The second thing is rest. Somewhere along the way, people got the idea that rest is cheating, that real dedication means going hard every day. That's gym bro nonsense, and for a beginner, it's actively harmful. Rest is when your body actually adapts and gets stronger. Taking a day off is not falling behind. It's part of the plan. So you're allowed to rest. You were always allowed to rest. And while you're showing up, here's what I want you to actively ignore, at least for now. Ignore supplements. You do not need powders or pills to walk around the block, and you never will to start. Ignore the search for the perfect program. The best program on earth is the one you'll actually do. And right now, that's the simple one in front of you. And ignore what everyone else is doing. The person running past you started somewhere too, on some quiet first day you never saw. Their chapter 20 is not your chapter 1. The only person worth measuring yourself against is the version of you who didn't start. And you're already beating them, just by being here. A quick word on food, because I know you're wondering. Please do not overhaul your entire diet the same week you start moving. Changing everything at once is exactly how people burn out by Thursday. Instead, change one thing. Drink a glass of water before each meal, or add one vegetable to your dinner, or swap the afternoon soda for a sparkling water. One small swap, repeated, beats a perfect diet you abandon. Same rule as everything else here. Small and repeatable, and yours. Now here's the one that matters most, and almost no one says it out loud. You are going to miss a day. Life happens. You'll get busy or tired, or it'll rain, or you just won't feel like it. And when it happens, your brain will whisper that you failed, that you always do this, that you might as well stop. That voice is lying to you. Missing one day is not failure. Missing one day is just a day. The people who succeed aren't the ones who never miss. They're the ones who simply start again the next day without making it a whole story. You don't need a fresh Monday. You don't need to get back on track. You just need to do the next small thing. That's it. Missing a day only becomes a problem if you let it convince you to quit. And let's talk about how you'll actually know it's working. Because it won't be the scale, at least not first. The early wins are quieter than that. You'll sleep a little better. You'll have a bit more energy in the afternoon. Stairs will feel easier. Your mood will lift on the days you move. You'll feel somewhere underneath it all a small, new sense of, I'm handling this. Those are the real signs, and they show up long before anything dramatic does. So watch for how you feel, not just what you weigh. Feeling is the progress the scale can't show you. So let's make it real. What does day one actually look like? Let me take all the mystery out of it. Day one is this. You put on whatever comfortable clothes you already own. No outfit required. You put on your shoes. And you walk out the door for 10 minutes. 5 minutes away from home, 5 minutes back. That's the entire workout. When you get home, you're done. And you are, as of today, a person who started. Tomorrow, you don't have to do more. You don't have to do better. You just have to do it again. And if you want to picture the whole first week, keep it just as loose. Something like walk 10 minutes on the days you can. Rest on the days you can't, with zero guilt. Maybe do your 10 squats once or twice if you feel like it. That's a complete, successful first week. Notice there's no perfect schedule to fail at. There's just movement, most days, at a size you can actually manage. Keep it that gentle, and you'll still be doing it in a month, which matters more than any single hard workout ever could. Which brings us to your one next step. Because I promised I would never leave you with a list of 10 things. That's the overwhelm we came here to escape. So here it is, just one. The moment this video ends, go put your shoes by the door. That's the whole assignment. Not a workout, not a plan. Just set your shoes somewhere you'll see them tomorrow morning. That tiny, almost silly act is you casting the very first vote for the person you're becoming. And it's enough. Because that's how this actually works. Small, repeatable, yours. Not someone else's punishing routine, not a plan built to impress anyone. Your own quiet, steady, undramatic start. The kind that lasts precisely because it never asked too much of you on day one. I'm Sam. This is Sam Says, where we cut through the noise and hand you one clear next step every time. If this made starting feel a little less scary, subscribe and stick around. I've got the next step ready, and I'll walk it with you. Now, go put your shoes by the door. I'll see you in the next one. Quick, honest note before you go. I'm here to help you start, not to give medical advice. If you've got an injury, a health condition, or you're just not sure, Check with a doctor before you begin. Okay? Okay. Go get your shoes.